Good evening, Bucs fans. We are back. It is Real Bucs Talk here on a Monday, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2-0. Again, everyone joining us. This is Real Bucs Talk. We're presented by Bucs Report and the Pigskin Podcast Network, as you just saw there. So again, it's very excited to be back. I know I was gone last week. Thank you, John Ledyard, for joining us and having a great show with my co-host Mark Ramirez. That was really awesome, and I appreciate the kind words, John, of what you said about our show. So much thank you to you. But Mark, it was a hot one yesterday. A great win. As everyone can see, I'm a little sunburnt, got a little toasty as I needed it, but it was a very very exciting game, and the offense on fire, looking good for the most part. Bruce Arians is talking about how there were some lulls there, but just your thoughts of being 2-0. Again, the undefeated season is still alive.
What's crazy to me though, I mean, it is amazing to be 2-0. But to be honest, that whole game I didn't feel like we're gonna lose at all. I mean, the Cowboys game, I had some thoughts of, this could go one way. This Falcons game, I felt like the offense could do whatever the hell they wanted to do whenever they wanted to.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there was just times where either it was drops or just lapses in judgment in some people, or just play call, a combination of the two. I mean, either way, whenever Tom Brady wants to do something, he can kind of do it. He can move the ball. The running game was a little better, obviously, because the first game there was nothing. But to put up 48 points, I know two of them were Mike Edwards. We'll talk about that later. But overall, I mean, that was just a dominating performance. Loved everything about it. Being as close as we were to the game, seeing Jay Edward at the game, tailgating like that, it was an actual cool experience of everything all together. I mean, I guess the Cowboys game was just too hectic, but this was actually a cool atmosphere and fun, just fun game to go to. But
Mhm.
any more things you want to touch on offense? I'll just hit the offense first because that's
Right.
what everyone likes, right? So hit on some offensive points.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, we started very fast. I mean, I think it was six play drive, and we scored a touchdown. Gronkowski, again, has another two touchdowns, two tutties. So that connection is looking very strong. I mean, Gronk looks like 2015 Gronk, where he was just dominant. So, very impressive. Again, getting Mike Evans involved, I know that will make a lot of fantasy owners happy. He had like five catches, I believe, on 9 targets. There was one big play that was actually missed him down the field. But yeah, I mean, he scores twice. We were actually right there in front where he scored that nice little, fake in, go back out to the outside, and caught an easy touchdown. So yeah, offensively, I thought there was a lot of good things. But yeah, there were some lulls there where they could have, scored probably 60 points if they wanted to. You had the fumble with, after a penalty,
No
and then
tumblers.
yeah, and then there was just some parts where they
Speaking
couldn't
of,
execute.
why did he fumble that ball?
Well, I mean, you had a 3rd and 20, and I think again he was looking around, but again, it was good pressure by Dante Fowler. He gets in there, and creates the turnover, but it's just really unfortunate. I think the penalty really just killed that drive.
I mean, I was kind of just touching on. There's a lot of assignments where Rojo missed
Mhm.
blitzers coming in, which could have been woulda, coulda plays, but we said it in the training camp. Rojo just doesn't do good in pass blocking. Fournette's better, but Fournette isn't the type of runner Rojo is. So it sucks the running back room we have. They have their categories they're pretty good at, but they don't do everything well. And we talked about this with John Ledyard actually, how he almost wants more of Gio Bernard, and also does TB12 Goatman over here,
Mhm.
or Gio. So you got to be able to hit a hole fast and see what you can get with it. Lenny doesn't hit him fast, but he did do better. 11 carries, 52 yards on the game. So, I mean, it's not too bad. Let's jump over to there. Yeah, 52 yards, 11 carries, 4.7 yards per average. They both average pretty dang good, so you can't get mad at that. But it's just the aspect that we're always passing the ball. We're going to be slinging the rock all over the place. You have like 4 potential number 1 options on any other team. You got to be able to give Brady a little bit of time, not just the O line, but if you're going to sit back there and pass protect. Rojo, you got to do better.
Mhm.
Fournette does his job. Just Gio didn't literally have one attempt. So I guess that's one downer for the running game. I mean, there was no fumbles. I'll give them that. They held on to the ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, Leonard had a fumble late, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately for Leonard, Chris Godwin knocked that ball out of bounds. But yeah, I mean, the running back room is very frustrating as a whole because it seems like, they'll do so many things right and then they'll just have these errors that, really hurts the team. I mean, whether it's misblocking or it's not hitting the hole correctly or it's not running hard, or dropping passes, you name it. It's always something with those two, unfortunately. And I agree, hopefully Gio Bernard gets more involved and hopefully he becomes a bigger part of this team because there's got to be a tipping point where okay, we just can't have these guys in there, regardless of how talented they may be at one aspect of their game. It's hurting the team. So I mean, just have to see how it plays out. Again, they're going to trust them and they're going to continue to utilize them, but it's always going to be a weakness, unfortunately, until it gets addressed. And we'll just have to see how it goes. But again, it's elite passing team, and that's what the Bucs do well. They did it well for most of the game. Tom Brady, 5 touchdowns and 276 yards. Very efficient. Already 9 touchdowns through the first 2 games. He's on pace for 76 touchdowns for the year. So, I mean, that's who we are, and that's what we should be. And I give a lot of credit to Byron Leftwich for the play calls that he's calling. He's calling a really good game. So it's going to be that's our identity, and that's what we should stick with. But at some point, you're going to need some type of running game, and we'll get into that later because they're going to need it this week against a very tough opponent in the Rams. But yeah, offensively, I was pretty happy with it. Again, there's some things that they can get better at. Execution, 3rd and short, and missing 4th and 1. Stuff like that. They need to clean up, but too many 3rd and longs as well.
Yeah, and someone touched on MDP over here said Tampa does not have a very good run game scheme. That's something we touched on again with John Lennon last week.
Very bad.
It's true. I mean, the thing is, when you do run, you want to run effectively,
yes,
and efficiently, and they just often don't do that. I'm not going to complain. We won the game. Andrew said it. Hey guys, they won. Smile. And it's true.
Yeah. No, it was a great game. 2-0 is a great feeling. It definitely want to be more positive, and that's the great thing with winning. Even though we haven't played our best yet, you're winning games, and we can't say that in the past for past Buccaneer teams. Like this would have been a loss yesterday if they played like they did.
The Cowboys game would have been 100% loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my point to that is, the efficiency is there on offense. You want it the same thing on the running game, and yes, they have a tendency to like to force the run at times. They haven't been doing that this year, thankfully. So I think they learned something from last year.
Yeah,
so that's
for sure.
One positive. But one thing in the passing game we did see a lot of. If you saw any safety shade over to one side, Brady didn't even look that way. And that's something that's beautiful and it's amazing with the weapons they have. They just attack. I mean, left and right. If you're going to shade over to Mike Evans like they did in the Cowboys game, but don't even look that way. That's why he didn't get many targets. It wasn't because he's not good, not breaking out of routes or anything. He clearly has that day in, day out. It was more the defensive covering him more. Let's not let Mike Evans beat us. Let someone else do it. I don't know if you noticed, Antonio Brown only had 1 catch this game. Mike Evans showed out because they didn't double him as much. So it's Tom Brady spreading the ball around. Don't get upset and Mike Evans has a bad day. It's because the defense wanted to do one thing, take Mike out. Someone else will thrive when that happens.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's about picking your poison, right? So, and throwing to the open man. And I agree with what a lot of the fans are saying here in the chat. The run game doesn't matter as much in this modern NFL. Again, it's a passing league, and that's what our team is built for. Built to throw the football. You play to your strengths, and that's a great thing. That's a great thing to have. You have the best player at his position to do it. Why not? And I think BA talked about it today where, it's not about how many carries these guys get. It's about yards per carry.
Right.
So, that's the big thing. And if you look at, combine all those numbers that they put up, that's over 4 yards a carry, almost 5 yards a carry. You're going to take that. And I think as the season goes along, teams are going to try to play more coverage style defense against our passing attack. That's when you'll see us mix in the run more, and it'll get a little bit more effective.
I mean, the running game only got better as the year went on last year.
Yeah.
Hopefully the same thing happens this year. I mean, again, we're just being
Yeah.
critics because that's what we see. I mean, we're still 2-0. Yeah. It's more, what are areas that we can fix? Like last year, we told you where the defense was having issues, and it showed over and over and over again. Right now, that secondary is getting chewed up.
Mhm.
And the front seven's still doing what they do, even though it's only one sack. But we'll get to the defense later.
Mhm.
But offensively, yeah, I just want to give credit to Gronkowski again. Dude's uncoverable, to be honest. Like, there's times where, what do you do? Like, it's just a jump ball nightmare. He's actually fast for a big guy. Like, there's nothing he can't do.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where he's running open. The problem is the other guys that are running routes as well are just a little bit faster, so they're getting open quicker. But Gronk, for the most part, is open. Like, he's not really, he's never really guarded. And if he is guarded, he's still going to catch the football. But I think the biggest point so far with this offense through 2 games is just the process. The process is a lot better as far as how they're calling the game. And I think Danny Danello would be very proud of Byron Leftwich. I think he is calling it the right way, utilizing motion, utilizing play action, using the quick game to set up the deep pass. All those different things are really great things to watch.
Speaking of Danny Danello, I mean, everyone in the chat is still hot about the running back. So I just want to touch on one other thing. So Danny over here says, all you hear is Arians complaining, but he keeps playing the mental midget, Rojo. He calls Gio our third down back. So there's some, Arians isn't just complaining. He did say about what we touched on, like the carries, yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
He did mention that. That's what you want to see. But he also did say, he didn't complain. He flat out said it how it was. Rojo's in his 4th year.
Yeah, needs to play better.
Unacceptable. It doesn't, and they said, oh, what about his head games? Is okay. He's like, it doesn't matter about his head.
Mm-hmm.
He's in it. Just stop making stupid mistakes. And that's something I touched again last week. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you can't trust a guy to make a play or be in an assignment or be smart enough to hold on to the ball, don't turn the ball over. That's like what we're talking about with Jameis. You don't want this in anywhere in your football team, especially if a guy is supposed to hold on to the football and run, and then he can't protect the main guy's going to get you to where you need to be. Yeah, I love him as a runner, but these mental lapses is just too much. And Arian said it, so don't think he's holding Rojo like up above anyone else. He's the quickest one to pull that rope if he messes up. And it is sad, though, that he has to do this so many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, agreed. And it's a reason why they, favor Leonard Fournette right now, because the errors that Fournette makes is not as killer to the offense. Again, he's doing, for the most part, he's blocking well in pass protection. He's catching the football for the most part. The run game where he runs, I mean, he's still missing holes, but you're just going to have to accept that, and he'll get you at least, those 2 to 3 yards and keep you in manageable situations. But yeah, I would like to see Gio Bernard get more opportunities as far as a back. And maybe we'll see that if this kind of play continues from those two. It just depends. But offensively, there's still things you got to clean up. It's the penalties, the turnovers, stuff like that has to be cleaned up going forward, especially on, the defensive side of the ball. The penalties need to stop. But really, I mean, I just don't see anyone beating us, from an offensive standpoint. Scoring, I think scoring 30 is going to be the norm. We already set an NFL record for, 9 straight games with 30 points or more. So really, it just comes down to the Bucs not beating themselves. And we talked about that all the time. It's like, just don't beat yourselves, because this offense is just, when it's in rhythm, it's just fun to watch. You can't really, there's not much you can do against it.
Yeah, like I tweeted that during the game, like during the Mike Evans touchdown on that on the corner.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, if Gronk and Godwin are in the inside doing slants, drags, whatever, short in the middle of the field, you have to worry about that, and then also a fade to Mike Evans inside the 5 or 10.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable. You just can't. You just pick whichever one they're not going to cover and attack the other side. Either way, all those guys can win one-on-ones, and one of them is going to have to get one-on-one. You can't cover everyone, and it's just that's taking Antonio Brown out of this, which is still ridiculous. And then OJ Howard, if he slips out, it's crazy. It's insane. Inside the 10, there's no one that should be able to stop us. Our red zone efficiency should be like through the roof. This year with the timing and everything should be through the roof.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as of now, it pretty much is. I mean, 11 touchdowns to one field goal so far in the year. That's saying great things. Again, that only field goal was to win the Cowboys game, so very impressive from that standpoint. Yeah, just it'll continue to get better, and that's really the scary thing. But it's also very exciting, just to see how good this offense can be going forward, and especially when they're going to be facing a lot of teams that just can't match up personnel wise. And the Falcons were one of them. Now they get a bigger test, obviously, in the Rams coming up. So it should be exciting to see what kind of adjustments they make throughout the year, what other teams try to do. But really, I just don't see them having answers for, what we have presented, especially if all the guys stay healthy.
I mean, no doubt. I mean, this offense could be like it already probably will be record breaking, and as it already is. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Let's see if this goes to 10 games in a row of 30 plus points.
Right.
I mean, you can only say so many good things about Tom Brady without just beating a dead horse, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one more, about the running backs, Danny. Fournette fumbled at 25-28, and thank God for Godwin being Johnny on the spot. Yeah, Plus mentioned that.
Yeah.
Fournette isn't far behind Rojo focus-wise. Well, Plus kind of hit it on the head. He just does it a little bit more safe than Rojo. Not just keeping the ball off the ground, but keeping Brady off the ground as well. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, it's going to be what it is, but I wouldn't put too much worry into it. Again, as long as Tom's got the ball in his hands and we got the weapons we have, we should be fine. And I mean, Tom's playing so well right now. Early MVP candidate already with 9 touchdowns. So, and the offensive line I think will get better as the year goes on too. I think they're getting their physicality up as these games will continue.
They're not even doing that. They're doing good though.
They're doing okay. Yeah, I think they're doing okay. I think the interior for the most part is doing good. I think the tackles can be a little bit more better, but for the most part, they're doing their job.
Yeah, we're expecting worse from last year.
Yeah,
he just played at an insane level. I think no one expected that, but we'll see. I think it's like you said, they're going to only gel and get better as the year goes on. But the stunts, they're getting every stunt, which is fantastic.
Yes.
It's usually just one guy gets beat once. Tom Brady's trying to look for that deep play, but hey,
that's going to happen.
Yeah, this deep developing offense, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But let's just move over to the defense. I'm tired of talking running backs. We're a passing team, right? We're a passing team.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Hey, we're scoring points. That's the end of the day. You got to score more points than the other team. Last time I checked, and the Bucs have done it twice already. So, yeah, when looking at this defense and, this, we could get into like the coaching aspect of it, but I thought they did some good things coaching wise, as far as obviously implementing 3 safety looks, putting Mike Edwards in the slot. That's where the 2 interceptions came from at the end of the game to really seal the deal. Mike Edwards is just, we talked about it, very good ball hawk, and just always in the right position. So that was awesome to see, just him, taking that spotlight, and it's good for him going forward. And, also great to see Jordan Whitehead back in there. I thought he did some really good things as well.
Yeah, Whitehead, I think on the first drive had a PBU. I mean, very effective, you could see him calling plays left and right, communicating with the teammates and everything. But yeah, Mike Edwards damn well better have earned some more playing time, because you get 2 pick sixes like that. Arians literally always calls him a ball hawk playmaker. He's showing it on the field. I think it deserves more time. That doesn't mean take away from Whitehead or, Jordan Whitehead or Antoine Winfield. It means you're lacking in corner depth, right?
Yeah.
SMB going down, they're already suspect enough. This is something we kind of touched on. Get your third safety who's probably better than your second or third corner.
Mhm.
Get them out there more. I mean, I don't care size matchup. These guys know how to read and react. Obviously, SMB's read and react wasn't doing that well to begin with before he got hurt. So these guys kind of deserve some playing time.
Yeah, definitely. I think, utilizing the three safety look is the way they're going to go, especially this week against the Rams and Cooper Cup. I think they're going to want to have Mike Edwards in there to utilize that. I was very happy with Jamel Dean. I thought he bounced back. He had a much better game this week against the Falcons. Carlton Davis, I thought, again, did some good things. They kind of took advantage of Ross Cockrell, there on a couple drives again, but a lot of good things. I thought when they did blitz, they were getting in there. They were just missing at times. So, I think Devin White missed Matt Ryan one time. And there's a couple others where they just missed Matt Ryan. I mean, Matt's just so good at elusing, making those moves to get away. But yeah, definitely the tackling that has to be better. Winfield missed a tackle in open space on a touchdown. So
Yeah.
stuff like that has to get cleaned up. But still a lot of good things. I mean, the front seven is still playing outstanding. Vita Vea is just kicking everybody's butt right now. I mean, he's just dominating, and I would just like to see them utilize some more cover two kind of looks with the press man and let this front six pretty much dominate the run by themselves, which they can. So it'll be interesting to see if they incorporate that more stuff like that this week against an offense that utilizes more three wide receiver sets.
Yeah. You keep hoping that, plus it's not going to happen.
I know, and
Just,
I can't blame them. They love playing zone, and I think it works when it's executed properly. Obviously, they're going to bring the pressure. That's what Todd Bowles is. He's about getting those big plays. And guess what? It worked yesterday with Mike Edwards getting 2 pick sixes because of that pressure. Obviously, you bring a corner blitz with Carlton Davis. He tips the ball up in the air, intercepted. Same thing on Mike reading the hot route and tipping it to himself. Again, it's coming off of pressure. So I understand it. That's what he's about. He's going to make you go down the field and hope you turn it over or get a sack or something like that. That's just the way we play defense.
and I understand the logic behind it. You're rushing a decision. You're
Right.
having a ball travel in the air, and you're pretty much putting it all on your cornerbacks and secondary to read and react to it. If your secondary is not reading and reacting correctly, okay, then you're going to get gouged for yards. Mike Edwards is pretty good at that, so that's why it benefited us. So you just have to have the team working together. If you blitz, you better have someone behind you being able to fix a mess up if the pressure doesn't get there. So
Right.
it works, but then again, when it's blocked well, you can get snapped. I mean, with Stafford in his arm next week, it's going to be a scary one. Plus, with their offense and the areas where we have weaknesses in our defense, that you better get ready for the quick pass game, and the corners better be ready to react quick too.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I'll agree with you. The front seven, fantastic. I said it last week. Elite still. They're just missing. They're like right there. Like they're draped all over the quarterback. It's just bring them down. There's. I mentioned it last week. There's going to be 5 and 6 sacks games. It's just bring the guy down. Whoever wants to hold it long enough will get sacked multiple times. But I mean, Devin White did miss some tackles. He's kind of known for that. He tackles a little high. It's something we've been riding him for. But he's not doing anything terribly missed assignment wise, like in coverage. I think he tackled Levante David on one play, actually. Where he almost went for a pick and he knocked the crap out of Levante. So other than that, it's just the back end working together. That's
Yeah.
what I'd say.
No, yeah, definitely. It's about your front seven and secondary working together. Pass rush and coverage have to be hand in hand. So yeah, I mean, it's going to improve. I thought there was still a lot of good things. One of the touchdowns they ran a cover 0, and that puts a lot of pressure on your secondary where they sent everybody. And Matt Ryan just threw a perfect ball to Calvin Ridley. Beating Cockrell, I believe, in the end zone. So there's going to be things like that at times where, that's just the way they're going to play it. They're going to try to force that error, and we have to accept that. And you also have to look at the context. I mean, teams know they're going to we have to come out throwing against this team because that's their only way to move the football. We're not going to run against them. That's just not going to happen. So it kind of goes hand in hand. You're making one team one dimensional, and that's for a reason. So that's why all the yards are, piling up. Matt Ryan had 300. Dak had over 300, I think. And, over 100 passing attempts in 2 games. So you're going to give up some yards.
But this is what they're wanting. I mean,
yeah.
Just realize, your secondary can't be elite at the same time as your rush defense is elite.
Yeah.
There's give and take. The same thing with the salary cap. If we have great weapons on the outside, there's the argument with Jameis. Like, you can't have an elite offensive line. It's guys that you're running a system, play to that system. You're not going to have Pro Bowlers everywhere, even though the Bucs offense looks like that. Potentially this defense too. But there's reason behind what they're doing, and it'll give you opportunities for interceptions, turnovers, quick decisions. And it's the game they play. They're living by it, and it's going to work. And then there's games where you're like, why the hell is he wide the hell open?
Yeah.
It's just the more teams together, the better they will be.
Yeah. We're going to see games like the Bears game of last year where, teams are just going to do that dink and dunk, and it's going to be open because, we're trying to ask our outside linebackers to drop back in coverage, or, we had Vita Vea dropping back yesterday and he was taking away routes. So, it's just the way they're going to play it. Again, it's going to throw a lot of looks, a lot of different things at this offense that they're going up against. And, again, it's all about making those big plays. And I'd rather play it that way than just be like, okay, we're just going to bend but not break. I guess that's kind of the way they're thinking it, but they're being aggressive though in how they attack it, because it's about getting those big turnovers. And usually that's what's going to make a difference. How can you get the ball back to this offense that averages 30 points a game? That's the goal.
What's funny is Monty Kiffin at halftime said, 2 words: cover 2, camp up 2.
Yeah.
And that's what plus one's more of. But you're going to get it? Highly doubtful, but you never know. There may be maybe moments in the season where they're like, let's try it out. And then it'll work, and then they'll go away from it. So it's long.
Yeah.
But yeah, defensively, I think just the back end, if they can get things ironed out, communication-wise, I think with Jordan Whitehead is going to get better because he's back there, and the continuity they have together will get better. It's just, like we mentioned last week, it's that second corner. You have a big hole there. What's going to happen? We'll see. Dean did play better. Let's give him that.
He did. And they're adding guys. Obviously they added Pierre Desir to the practice squad. They added Rashad Robinson today to the practice squad, who's another veteran corner. There's talks about Richard Sherman. People are talking about him in the chat. They did contact him. I think it was just, see where he's at, see, what's going on there. And if they think it's a good fit, then obviously they're going to pursue it. Scheme-wise fit, I think he's perfect. Again, that's what he likes to play. He's a zone cover 3 type of guy that can come in and bring you some veteran leadership, I think. And that's something that this cornerback room could probably use more of. And I don't think he'll be like, a starter from day one. He'll just be a guy that you can come in and help this team.
Richard Sherman you're talking about?
Yeah, Richard Sherman.
So this is MD Peel said it best. Sherman would have to move in with Brady. Hey, it worked with Antonio Brown, and I think Brady's probably the one giving him the hint. Like, well, let's just check him out. He's a hell of a competitor. Battling with him. And in San Fran, he was still good, and I suppose he's down to his normal playing weight.
Right.
You never know. It doesn't hurt to give him a look, especially if things start adding up or the injury list starts adding up even more. You're going to have to look at him. But supposedly his contract negotiations were pretty bad. He wanted a lot more money than anyone else wanted to give him. They don't have that. But then again, Plus likes to say, it's fake. Salary cap is fake. So
yeah, you can find ways.
You never know. I wouldn't doubt the Bucs trying to go after him and get him, because whether team would a veteran like that, a good player, want to go to, especially later in the season, like an Antonio Brown move. You never know.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't do you any harm. It gives you a better chance of really solidifying that chance to repeat. You add a guy like Sherman, again, a guy who's won it in Seattle. He's been to the big dance. He's also, lost to the Patriots. I mean, so I think just the motivation there to play with a Tom Brady, knowing that you have a chance to win a championship, being on a defense that I think plays perfectly in what you want to do.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it just makes a lot of sense. And you come to a team that I think you could thrive in, whether it be limited time or maybe you move into that CB2 role. You never know. But the most thing is he would bring just experience to help these guys.
And that's something that they obviously need. I mean, not Carlton Davis. That dude's playing on another level than anyone else in that room.
Yeah,
So
he understands.
yeah, you got to work together as a team. We'll see what happens moving forward. But
Mhm.
yeah, they got a big test coming up next week. So I want to kind of touch on this. This is the three takeaways on Buccaneers.com.
Mhm.
Things we've been touching on: defensive pressures paying off, even if it's not in the form of sacks. Even Arians over here said Vita Vea is killing guys. It's just he's knocking them into the quarterback, not sacking them. So these are things that we've been saying. We said it last week, saying it now. They're getting there. They're gonna get there more. I mean, I love what I see on film at the game. Like it's just destruction down there in the trenches, and we're winning the trenches every game. It feels like. What do
Yeah.
you think?
No, I agree. I think the sacks will come, and they'll probably come in bunches. They could start this week against the Rams offensive line, and getting after Stafford, who is somewhat mobile, but I think you could get him on the ground easier than said a Matt Ryan, who's just so good with his footwork. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I think that will come. The biggest thing is that pressure is forcing the turnovers, and if that's happening, then this team is doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. And it's going to help out the secondary. I mean, Danny said the secondary is hurting. Teams are smelling blood. But the thing is, imagine if the front seven wasn't doing well,
Yeah,
that would be carved up bad. Like it's
that'd
already
be
looking bad
worse.
now, but
Yeah, you have bigger plays thrown up against you.
yeah, you'd have all day to throw and just sit back and loft things 40, 50 yards down the field. These are quick
Right.
decisions guys are making. They hold
That
it
was
longer, they're done.
Yeah, that was the Mike Smith days. We're past that.
Those were ugly, ugly days. You're like, when's he
Yeah,
ever gonna? Damn it! There it goes.
yeah.
Uh, Here's another one. The number of the day is 2. So I mean, the 2 touchdowns by Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, 2-0. Mike Edwards with 2 defensive touchdowns and 2 pick
Mhm.
sixes. So a
Right.
lot of twos there. A lot of good things. I still can't believe Gronk has 4 touchdowns in the season. Insane.
Yeah, I mean, Gronk's well on his way to getting double-digit, touchdowns this year. It just seems like, his knowing of the offense, him and Tom knowing the offense, it's just much better. They understand where, they're gonna be on the field as far as options, and you're seeing him just be that go-to target, especially inside the red zone, where you can run play action. I mean, just him running a simple corner route is gonna be open because guys just can't keep up with him.
How do you say it, plus?
Wide
What's
S open.
There you
Yeah,
go. There you
yeah.
go. All right, one more takeaway from Buccaneers.com. Too many penalties.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, that has to clean up. I think the one drive where they got a field goal is because we had like 3 straight penalties. I mean, one of it was kind of BS. I mean, Shaq Barrett timed that perfectly. It should have been a fumble. It should have been a touchdown, Devin White. I mean, you're talking about the game really over then if that happens. So it was just crazy. But it's got to get cleaned up. It's got to be better.
You get penalized for playing perfect football, though. Like, that
Yeah.
was that one. Then what was the other one?
There
I
was
think it was
another one by
pass
JPP,
interference.
which yeah, JPP was offsides, and then there was a pass interference on Carlton Davis, which was kind of, yeah.
When he knocked the no, it was or is it a
Or
flat?
I think it was helmet to helmet, actually.
Yeah, it was perfect again. I'm like, are you shitting me? You're penalizing them for doing what they're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Uh it's
I agree, but yeah, the Jensen penalty was major. He should not have done that. He jumped into the pile and really didn't need to. So, but that's just how he plays. I mean, he's just aggressive nonstop.
He's averaging one a game, so expect it next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Uh, but let's actually, you know what? Let's touch on that. Unless you want to touch on any other things from the game, I mean, or special teams, special players making special plays.
Yeah.
Shows up again.
Yeah, I thought they did well. I wasn't a fan of like the scoop kicks. I know you're trying to keep it away from Cordell Patterson, but I rather just kick it out of the end zone like you did the week before. There's a couple of returns that got away from us in the kickoff game, and you're giving the other team better field position. Other than that, it was another good day. You would have liked to see Ryan Suckup make that extra point to make it 49, but other than that, I thought really good game from everyone.
Well, I wanted to add this. Tryon Shoyinka, let's actually give him his little 2 minutes of fame here. He did do some nice things. Again, he's just not getting the sacks. He gets so close on one play. We're like, this is going to be good. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he did get close. And then in special teams, he had a couple tackles as well. And I feel like he's thriving anywhere they put him. And it's only a matter of time before the production actually starts coming into fruition.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Joe's going to be fine. He's doing a lot for them right now as far as just playing everywhere. So his head's probably spinning a little bit, but he's doing it full effort, maximum effort all the time, which is great to see. And he's making some good tackles. I think the pressure will continue, and he'll get those sacks. Again, the sacks are going to come.
When they do, it's going to be a pretty thing. I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll be in bunches. Let's actually do a quick touch on the Rams then. So
sure,
literally going to be probably the biggest test early on. I mean, I think the Cowboys are ready to test this. This is a true team that's meant to win now. I mean, they're probably looking at the addition of Stafford, like how we looked at Tom Brady last year. They just need that guy to get him over the top. They got one in Stafford if he can stay healthy. Again, if he can stay healthy. That defense is already loaded. They can do whatever they want. They're coming off a close-ass game. They just barely won against the Colts, last-second kick. So defensively, they're great. Offensively, they know what the hell they're doing. They're short passes. Is Stafford like Tom Brady last year where he's still learning on the go? Hopefully that works to our advantage, and I hope they do. Hopefully he is still learning. But what's your take on the Rams?
Yeah, the Rams are, again, a well-coached team. They don't really make a lot of mistakes. So, I mean, we're just going to have to be on our toes. We're going to have to make sure, we execute well and we play, kind of mistake-free football. Defensively, obviously, it starts with Aaron Donald. That's who you have to watch for. But I think you also got to kind of attack him. You got to go after him a little bit. We talked about this in the past where, you run the football at him. Try to wear him down. There's going to be some holes there. It's kind of like a Gerald McCoy-esque thing where, he likes to jump, the snap, and he likes to, jump gaps and get it into, penetration, because that's his game. So you got to kind of attack that penetration, get their linebackers moving one way and attack that hole going the other way. Linebackers are really the weakness of this team. I think that's where you got to attack them. You got to find a way to use your tight ends. And if Gronk is, the way he's playing, I think Gronk's going to get featured more than he did last year against the Rams. I think, last year's game, I think you kind of put it in the trash because we really weren't playing like we are playing now as far as a play calling standpoint. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up. And then defensively, just do what you do. Get after Stafford. That's what you have to find a way to do it. Force turnovers. Try to man up on Cooper Kupp and maybe even double him a little bit if you can. Try to take him away. I think that's the big key.
Have anyone else besides Cooper Kupp beat you?
Yeah.
That's how they should do it. I mean, that's how they should have done against Tyreek Hill the first time. They didn't do it. So you would think they do it this time. Don't sit there and have to learn by halftime. They have one guy that he likes to go to early and often. Take that guy away. And let's see if anyone else can beat us. Or have Carlton Davis shadow and then one safety over the top. It's a simple formula, but let's see if the Bucs do it or they stick to the normal game plan. But either way, I think it's going to be a really damn good game. Where is this? Someone said that they'll get exposed. Here we go. Almost lost to the Colts. They will be exposed. I think it, like I said, I think it's Stafford still learning. The Colts got a really good defense. I think they're just a quarterback away and they can't find one. So
Yeah, Wentz just sprained both of his ankles apparently. So I don't know how that happens, but yeah, I mean it's going to be a interesting game for sure. I think it'll be a good battle. It's a good test early. You're on the road in Los Angeles in that new stadium, so should be a great atmosphere. But really, it's just about the Bucs playing smart football. If they can do that, I think they'll have a chance to win this. Get over 30 points. I mean, that's been the recipe for success. So we'll see if it can continue. But with that being said, guys, I want to just thank you all for being in the chat again. This is Real Bucs Talk presented by Bucs Report and the Pigskin Podcast Network. As you see the scroll on the bottom there, please give us a like and subscribe to help support the channel. We appreciate it. We're trying to push out more content. So again, all your help is very, very thankful for it.
yeah, and wait, let's see. Mark is so right. Oh God, I got something all right. Mark is so right. Belichick does that every game, make them beat you with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Take away the main guy they want to hit early and often, they get comfortable with. Don't let them get comfortable. It's that simple. I mean, then you won't have to be like scratching and clawing at the end of the game. But let's see. I guess before we end this out, guys, throw some questions up there. Let's actually open this up. And there's something I actually do want to address early. Where is this at? But someone mentioned it earlier about what do we think of the Saints game? The roller coaster ride is back.
Yeah, I mean, it's credit to the Carolina Panthers. Again, I was one of the I think me and Mark were talking about the Panthers being that team that could be in second place this year in the division. Obviously, they're 2-0 so far. They haven't played great offenses yet. Again, that includes the Saints. I don't think they're a great offense. And you look at the Jets as well. They're struggling. Zach Wilson just had, 4 interceptions yesterday. So, but that's a team to watch out for. I think their defense can be really good. But the Saints, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, we tried to tell you about it. We tried to explain that this is what you're going to have to live with Jameis Winston as your starting quarterback. He can throw 5 touchdowns one week, and then it's 11. Yeah, check your sheet, because again, he can go from 5 touchdowns to 11 of 22, and however many interceptions he had, and that's just the way it goes. And then this coming week, he could throw 4 touchdowns again and be the hero. So it's a tough ride, and unfortunately, with that kind of play, that kind of unstable play at quarterback, it leads to losing seasons, and I didn't want to say I told you guys so, but it is what it is with Jameis Winston.
I'm balling.
Wait, it is what it is. Yeah, after one game, he came out saying this is the best football team I've ever been a part of, where he still only had like 120 yards passing, 5 touchdowns throwing. So they're like, oh, this is it. Revitalize Jameis. And then we did say, Matt Rule has been known for aggressive, fast defenses. He has a whole bunch of athletes on that side of the ball.
Really good defense.
You saw his trajectory from Temple to Baylor. Those defenses just got so much better, and the wins started racking up after that. So there's no one to sleep on. I mean,
right. Sam Darnold looks like an actual quarterback. So, it's crazy when you get away from the Jets and what you're able to do, as far as a position player on offense. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Carolinas right now, when you look at it, they're probably our biggest threat to the division. I'll say that. And for the Saints, kind of, I guess, on the excuse end, they were missing guys yesterday. They miss key guys on defense, but again, and also a lot of offensive staff was out because of COVID. So I guess that could have made an impact, but
the quarterback should elevate the talent though around
there.
Right?
Exactly. And it's still the same issues. He holds on to the ball too long, doesn't know where to go with the football consistently, and usually that ends up being problems for your team. So it is what it is, but this is a Buccaneers podcast. The Bucs are 2-0. Happy about that. So yeah, man. Let's see what else we got in here as far as in the chat. Now we got just a lot of NFL talk, which I love. Patrick Mahomes shit the bed yesterday. That was actually a really good game. I missed it. That we came down to the end there. So
Yeah, I mean, but
there you go.
Winston
Winston was
was-
Winston. Yeah, perfect. Well said.
but that is what it is, though. I mean, like you saw it for 5 years. I don't know what the heck the Saints are trying to think that
Mm.
maybe Sean Payton is that good of a coach. I don't know.
Yeah, agreed, Ruth. That's a great point. I think he is a good coach and much better situation for sure.
Hands down. Yeah. Someone said that Carolina Panthers are number 1 defense right now.
Yeah. I think they have 10 sacks already, which is impressive.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
As
but
well
again,
sacks, Brady has touchdowns. That's sick to think of.
but again, you look at the offenses they played. The Jets offense, rookie quarterback holds on to the ball too long. Same thing with Jameis. So I think Jameis was sacked like 4 times yesterday. So, or something along those lines.
But they're 1-1, right? They're not 2-0.
Who, the Panthers?
They lost to the Jets, didn't they, or no?
No, they won. They're 2-0.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Excuse me, Carolina.
Yeah. Now they have the Houston Texans on Thursday Night Football, so that'll probably be another win because the Texans are without their starting quarterback, and they refuse to play Deshaun Watson, which is just God, what a nightmare that is. Now they're going Davis Mills, and that should be fun to watch.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
They just keep getting lucky with a quarterback play, I guess. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, you got to play who you play. So,
right.
Yep.
Who's in front of you? God, Carolina's going to get on a little streak here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looking more at the Buccaneers, areas of improvement, obviously defensively. Someone was saying don't sleep on Robert Woods on the Rams next week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sleep on it, but I would rather have him beating us than letting Cooper Kupp do whatever the hell he wants to do at all times. Like, you got to take away something.
Mm.
And which one do you want to take away? And the running game's already taken away. You can already kind of promise that. And I think they said the running back's out. Henderson's probably going to be out too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a big loss if he is out. Obviously they'll go with Sony Michel, who's effective, but I think he can probably be stopped easier because he just doesn't have that burst that Henderson has. So yeah, I mean that definitely hurts. But just looking at this team, I think it's just got to trust the process. I think we'll be fine. I think the coaching staff understands what they have to get done. Players understand it, and really, it's the players' job to lead this team. So they'll fix it. So I'm not really concerned right now. We'll have to see how the trends continue as week in, week out. Really, once you get to like week 5, week 6, you really know what kind of team you have going forward. So the tackling, that will get improved. Usually, I mean, Derek Brooks always said it. He's like, tackling doesn't get good until like week 4, week 5, when you're really playing. So yeah, I mean, not worried about that. And I think the offensive mistakes will get cleaned up because Tom's just not going to let them continue to mess it up. He wants to get 60 touchdowns this year. He's going to find a way.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
It keeps like a fine wine. It gets better with age.
Yeah.
Another thing, it's going to be the first road test.
Yeah.
How can you react to that?
I mean, the Falcons felt it yesterday. The stadium was loud. That was probably the loudest. That was the loudest stadium I think I've heard in a while. I mean, it was really loud. It was all Bucs fans, which was great. It was super loud. I mean, you had delay of games, you had false starts because of it. So yeah, it's going to be a test with communication. They're going to have to be on it.
I want to attribute some of that to us going crazy in the end zone.
Yeah,
getting all the beads possible.
I give a shout out to Budweiser. Thank you, Bud Heavy, because I was feeling pretty good. So it was letting it out. I probably blacked out at one point, but it was fun. Yeah, it was a great time.
That was awesome. I mean, everything about that game was awesome.
Yep.
God, yeah. I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Barry. I think it was Gold. He was talking about Tom Brady's scramble. That was pretty funny. Tom doing a little pump fake and running for the first down. So
God, get down.
He's like you just see him running. He just doesn't know what to do. But it's great that he got the first down. So that was awesome.
I think I said it looks like Brad Johnson out there. Oh,
yeah. He's like, I'm looking downfield. I'm looking downfield. I don't want to run. I don't want to run. And then, the crowd just, tells him to go, and he does it. So that was really fun.
Yes. Yeah, Danny Danilo said it was loud on TV. Hell yeah, it was. It was loud on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely loud. I was watching the game on the NFL, app, and it was loud. It was coming through pretty loud, so that was great. Vegas was it was good. It was expensive. It's a adult theme park. There's a lot of walking to get to like one spot that is like looks like 25 feet in front of you, but you have to do all these maneuvers to get to it. But it was a lot of fun. I didn't win any money, unfortunately, but again, it was still a great time. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool scenery, great food, and good time with the fellas.
Yeah, so that's something also. Hopefully, next year with the draft, potentially we're thinking about if we could go over there and do this again. We want to do this during COVID, and COVID shut everything down. So hopefully we can reestablish again. And if you guys are up for it, maybe even making like a meetup or something over there. I mean, having fun, Buccaneer fans chanting for your team to make your selection. Hopefully we get it right again this year.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing pretty good with that. But did you lose money plus? But did you lose?
Yeah, I did. It was expensive. But again, it was a fun time. It's all good. It's all good. It was all good losses. It was funny because I would I would be on the slots, right? And I wouldn't win. And then I would tell one of my friends to get on the slot I was just on. And of course he goes on there and wins a bunch of money. So that's just how it rolled.
Shit, that's called shit in the bed right there.
Yeah, I know. But at least I was a good luck for somebody. So that felt good.
Donating to Vegas fun. All right. Hell yeah. Well, thank you very much.
There we go.
All right, guys. Other than that,
play blackjack. Yeah, I probably should.
I just want to get to Vegas. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, it's fun.
Jeez. And COVID, go away. Seriously. It's
Agreed.
But other than that, guys, thank you for participating in the chat. We love all the comments and just feedback you guys give us. We're trying to make this as good as possible. If NFL Game Pass can get their own shit together, we'd be bringing you a lot more content faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's even maybe Game Pass caught COVID. I don't get it. I don't know. That's not even a funny joke. But other than that, guys, thank you very much. Plus, send us out.
Yeah, like Mark said, again, thank you for all the support you guys are showing. I appreciate everyone in the chat, your questions, your comments. It means a lot. Just your support on our YouTube channel. That has been awesome. Thank you to Bucs Report. Thank you to the Pigskin Podcast Network. It's been a blast so far this season. And again, we got a lot more content coming out. We're going to try to get it out to you sooner. I know we're a little late last week. I was dealing with some stuff personally. So again, apologize on that front, but we're going to do our best to continue to rise and raise the game of our content every week as we try to be better at this. And if you guys have any suggestions or any comments that you want to throw out there, please feel free to do so. You have all our information. You can email us. You can comment on the channel. Again, we appreciate it. If you want players looked at or something specific, let us know for sure. But with that said, guys, everyone have a great night. Bucs are 2-0. And with that said, until the next one.